Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Didsbury Art Studio. I'm Sally, and in today's video what I want to do is get into doing a little bit of arrow smocking along with trying to dye the fabric. So I'm going to use Sharpie pens with rubbing alcohol. This is something that I've done before in a previous video. I'm having a go at using the Sharpies and the alcohol, rubbing alcohol that is. Going to distribute the colours into the fabric, and so I just want to see what the results are. So shall we get into it?
So I've actually done 1 inch square grid, and the bit that I'm interested in is 14 inches by 7 inches, and this design is for the Arrow Smocking, which I have done a video of before, and I'll try and remember to link down below. And I've drawn out the design in pencil, nice and lightly, just traced through on my 1 inch grid paper below with a HB pencil, just keeping the lines light. There's the design, and then to begin stitching, use upholstery thread. Again, I'm using this a lot lately. I do really like it. So what we're going to do then is we're going to start up here on this top right, small stitch, like so, down to the bottom middle, up to the top left point, then we're going to pull that together like so, and then we're going to do a stitch through all 3 bits of fabric there, and I'm going to just tuck my needle through the loop there, and I'm going to do that twice, trying to jump on top of the previous thread there just to make sure it's all nice and neat, and it will help us with our design later, like so. And then I'm just going to tie a knot to secure that. Instead of cutting my thread off, I'm going to jump down to the next arrow that I've drawn out over here, put my needle in the corner, small stitch, leave your thread so that it's baggy, and then I just want you to go back in there again, and that will be one less problem for us to think about with that thread being nice and baggy. I'm actually going to go through that once more. There you go. Then we're going to go down to the middle like we did before, over to the top left, and then pull that in. And literally we are going to carry on like that. As I said, you can double check the whole process with a previous video. I've done a few actually arrow smocking videos, and this video is more going to be about changing up the colours of the fabric. So I want to focus more on that process rather than the stitching part. Just carry on over to the next one and complete that row, then I'll restart at the top again and go all the way across. So we're very nearly finished. I'm on the last stitch here. Didn't take too long at all. So yeah, just pulling that in. Just came out of the needle there. The design that we did on there was the Arrow Smocking, and you can see that the arrow was pointing facing down, but when you turn it over, it's actually that way around. And then what you can do, as usual, is just start pulling and manipulating the fabric to get it into the shapes that you want them, like that. So I'm just going to spend a bit of time doing that. Okay then, there we go. So what I want to focus on now is adding some colour to each of the arrows.
So I've got my Sharpie pens, quite a range of colours there. This is a piece that I did. I'm going to be using this piece that I actually made yesterday. This is the little mini Arrow Smocking. I've made it with 1-inch squares, and I'm just popping it on some plastic here to protect the table. I've got my rubbing alcohol and a pipette, and I'm just going to be influenced by the colours in this piece here. So, and then I just want to see kind of what the permanent colours look like. I'm going to take on board the colours that are in here, transfer them onto my little sample piece. I've done a little test strip of a couple of different colours and used the pipette to drop rubbing alcohol onto it. So I do like the way it kind of bleeds into the fabric. So just go straight in with it, yeah? I'm going to kind of go with these yellows into oranges into reds, and then more over this side with some blues into greens. So let's do at least some yellow over here. So practically what I'm going to do is, I don't know, this is the first time I've tried it on the smocking. I don't know how it's going to go. I can see what it's looking like on a flat strip, but I just want to see how it bleeds on something 3D. So we'll just try yellow first. And then grab your pipette, load it up. Drop it on there. Few drops. Seeing how it bleeds. That's kind of bleeding quite nicely, isn't it? I like that. So you may be wondering why I'm doing this. It's actually some prep and some, I guess, experimental sort of ways to see how I could distort and change the overall smocking pieces. And usually when I'm just exploring, it's to do with prepping and resourcing for classes. So I'm just looking at ideas here for my Saturday class, but I could be prepping for my hospital job that I do, teaching art, or it could be prepping for giving a workshop. I just want to have something that's permanent on the fabric and see how that comes out. So let's have a go at another colour. Let's go with this orange. I'm going to take it over there a bit as well. Just looking at some of those lines there. It's looking quite fun actually. I've got the window open, by the way, because it was getting quite fumey. Here we go. Nice little effect. I've blended a couple of colours in this little arrow here, this one, just to see sort of how it would look. And I might actually just place the colour just actually on the arrow more than some of the creases at the side of the arrow. So let's try that out. When I've done this before, I did it on some silk, so it is interesting to see how the cotton fabric takes to it. I was looking back at my videos the other day and saw that the last time that I used the Sharpies in a project like this was in lockdown, and it was one of my earlier videos. Let's just try it on the side of one of those arrows. So I'm going to finish off here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to leave this for a bit longer to check out the results, but I'm really pretty pleased with it. I could see that you could end up using quite a bit of the Sharpie pens. I could see them running out. You do need quite a lot of the rubbing alcohol as well, but I'm really happy with the results. So I shall see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments if there are any videos that you'd like me to do. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye.